Welcome back again students to another video lesson. So ito na yung pinakahuling lesson natin for this week, which is domain and range of rational functions. So for our lesson objectives, so the first one is to define domain and range of rational functions. And then, to solve the domain and range of rational functions. So sa mga susunod na slides, makikita nyo kung ano nga ba yung difference between domain and range. So to define domain and range, when we say domain is a set of all x values or input values. And then kapag range naman ang pinag-uusapan natin, this is the set of all y values or output values. Na kung saan dito, depende ang value ng y dun sa value ng x. Okay. Using a table of values, so makikita nyo dito, yung x dito, yun yung magiging input values natin. Na kapag sinubstitute natin sa given equation function, magkakaroon tayo ng output values na for y yun. So again, pag x ang pinag-uusapan natin, yung input values, we are referring to domain. Pag y naman, we are referring to range. Ibig sabihin, then, ulitin lang natin, yung x natin dito is the independent variable. And then yung y naman natin is the dependent variable. Sa madaling salita, nakadepende ang value ng y sa value ng x. Domain and range of rational functions. The domain of a function is a set of all values for which the function is defined, while the range of the function is the set of all the values that f takes. How to find the domain of a rational function? So set the denominator of the function to 0, then solve to find the x value or values that makes the given function undefined. If you cannot obtain a particular x value, that means all x value makes the function defined. Ibig sabihin lang nito, yung denominator ng function equal natin sa 0. And then, makukuha natin yung mga particular x value or values na yung function natin magiging undefined. Kapag wala tayong nakuha ang particular x value dun sa pag-equate natin ng denominator to 0, it means all x values makes the function defined. Ibig sabihin, walang particular x value na magiging undefined yung given function natin. How to find the range of a rational function? Find the domain of the inverse of the given function or sketch the graph. So, sa mga examples ko na ipapakita, kukunin natin yung inverse ng given function. Okay? Tapos, saka natin kukunin yung domain. So, let's have activity number 1. Find the domain of the following rational functions. Write your solution in set builder notation. Okay. So for example number 1, f of x is equal to x squared minus 16 all over x plus 4. So para makuha yung domain, so yung term na x plus 4 equal natin sa 0. That is x plus 4 equals 0. And then we subtract 4 to both sides, magiging x equals negative 4. So yung nakuha nating value na negative 4, check lang natin. So dito ay substitute natin siya. X squared magiging negative 4 squared minus 16 all over negative 4 plus 4. So as you can see, negative 4 plus 4, the answer is 0. So since ang ating denominator ay 0 na, ibig sabihin, magiging undefined ang sagot. So what will be the domain of the given function? Paano natin siya isusulat using set builder notation? Usually ganito siya. X is an element of R wherein x should not be equal to negative 4. So, ibig sabihin, pwede ang ibang values ng x except negative 4. So, kapag negative 3 ang ginamit natin, so pakita natin siya, no? Kung f of 3. So, negative 3 squared minus 16 all over negative 3 plus 4. So, negative 3 squared, that is 9, minus 16, all over negative 3 plus 4, that is 1. So, subtracting 16 from 9, that is negative 7, over 1, the answer is negative 7. So, kapag sinubstitute natin yung negative 3, so makakakuha tayo ng value na negative 7. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, ang negative 3, magiging define yung ating function kapag sinubstitute natin siya in place of x. Unlike yung negative 4, magiging undefined. So for example number 2, we have f of x is equal to x minus 8 all over x squared plus 3x plus 2. So quadratic polynomial lang ating denominator. So ang gagawin lang natin dito is, i-factor natin siya kung factorable siya. Kapag hindi siya factorable, ibig sabihin ang ating domain ay all real numbers. So factor natin ang x squared plus 3x plus 2. So ano yung factor? Ano yung mga factors ng 2 na kapag pinag-add, makukuha yung coefficient ng x, which is 3. So that is 1 and 2. So magiging x plus 1 tsaka x plus 2. And then equate natin to 0. So magiging x plus 1 equals 0 tsaka x plus 2 is equal to 0. And then we subtract 1 to both sides, magiging x equals negative 1. Then x plus 2 magiging minus 2 magkabilaan. So magiging x equals negative 2. Now, ano yung domain ng ating given function? X is an element of R wherein x should not be equal to negative 1 and negative 2. So kung kanina isa lang ang values ng x natin na magiging undefined siya, so ngayon po dalawa, which is negative 1 and negative 2. So let's have number 3, x squared plus 5x plus 4 all over x squared minus 1. So x squared minus 1 equals 0. And then pwede natin i-factor yung x squared minus 1, difference of two squares, magiging x plus 1 times x minus 1 is equal to 0. And then x plus 1 equals 0. X minus 1 equals 0. And then, we subtract 1 to both sides, maging x equals negative 1. Tsaka, we add 1 to both sides, maging x equals 1. So, ano yung magiging domain natin dito? X is an element of R such that x should not be equal to 1 and negative 1. Number 4, 3x plus 5 all over x squared minus 6x. So, ganun pa rin. Equate natin yung term ng denominator sa 0. So, x squared minus 6x equals 0. Yung x squared minus 6x, ipa-factor natin siya using common monomial factor. So, ang common monomial factor nila, greatest common monomial factor is x. So, and then, x squared divided by x, that is x. Negative 6x divided by x, that is negative 6, equals 0. And then we equate each term of the equation to 0. So that is x equals 0 lang siya. So mabilis, x equals 0. Yung isa naman, x minus 6 equals 0. So we add 6 to both sides, magiging x equals 6. Ayan. So ang domain na ating given function, x is an element of R wherein x should not be equal to 0 and 6. So let's have example number 5. f of x is equal to x squared plus 7x plus 10 all over x squared plus 2x minus 8. So again, quadratic polynomial ang ating denominator. So x squared plus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. And then what are the factors of negative 8 that when added will give a sum of 2, the coefficient of x, the middle term. So that is x plus 4 and then x minus 2 is equal to 0. So kapag pinafactor natin yung quadratic equation na yan at hinahanap natin yung factors ng constant term na magbibigay ng sum ng nasa gitna, yung coefficient ng x, so make sure na tama yung factors na kukunin. For example, dito. So, positive yung 2. So, yung factors ng 8 na 4 and 2, yung pinakamataas doon, magiging positive. And then naman, yung pinakamaliit doon, magiging negative. What if kung negative yung sign ng middle term? So, ang mangyayari nun, yung 4, magiging negative. And then yung 2 naman nun, magiging positive. So, baligtad sila. So, nakabase yung sign ng pinakamataas dun sa sign ng middle term. So, then we equate each term to 0. X plus 4 is equal to 0. X minus 2 is equal to 0. And then we subtract 4 to both sides. So, magiging x equals negative 4. X minus 2 is equal to 0. We add 2 to both sides. Magiging x equals 2. So, ang domain ng ating given function is x is an element of R, wherein x should not be equal to negative 4 and 2. For our next activity, number 2, find the domain and range of the following rational functions. Write your solution in set builder notation. So kung kanina domain lang ang kinuha natin, ngayon naman, domain and range na. So ituturo ko na sa inyo yung steps ng pagkuha ng range using the inverse. So for example number 1, we have f of x is equal to 2x all over 7. So as you can see, yung denominator natin dito, wala siyang variable. So, walang values, possible values ng x na magiging undefined yung ating given function. So, ano yung magiging domain niya? So, yung domain niya, x is an element of R. So, yun lang. So, in other words, pwede natin siyang sabihin as all real numbers. So, domain niya, no? What about yung kanyang range? So, sa range po, ganito po yung steps niya. Kunin natin yung domain ng inverse function. So, f of x is equal to 2x over 7. Ang gagawin natin, ita-transform natin f of x as y, tapos equals 2x over 7. Next, yung y tsaka yung x, pagpapalitin natin yung posisyon. So, magiging ganito siya, x equals 2y over 7. And then, we multiply the whole equation by 7 para matanggal yung denominator na 7. So, that is 7x equals 2y. And then, since inahanap natin yung ang domain ng given function, yung inverse ng function natin, i-divide natin yung whole equation by 2. So, magiging y is equal to 7x over 2. So, yung 2x over 7 na to, ang inverse function niya is ito. Y is equal to 7x over 2. So, para kunin natin yung domain nito, as you can see, yung denominator natin na 2, wala siyang variable. Ibig sabihin, yung range ng ating given function ay y is an element of R. So, ibig sabihin, walang possible values ng x na magiging undefined yung ating function. So, again, ang sagot natin dito sa number 1, x is an element of R, tsaka y is an element of R. O, all real numbers lahat yan. So, for example number 2, we have f of x is equal to 3x over x minus 2. So, yung x minus 2, equate natin sa 0 para makuha natin yung domain or yung value ng x na kung saan magiging undefined yung function. So, magiging x minus 2 is equal to 0. And then, we add 2 to both sides. So, x equals 2. So, ang domain natin dito, x is an element of R wherein x should not be equal to 2. Now, what about the range? So, ang gagawin natin, y is equal to 3x over x minus 2. And then, pagpapalitin natin yung posisyon ng x and y variables. So, magiging x equals 3y all over y minus 2. And then, we multiply the whole equation by y minus 2 para makancel yung denominator na y minus 2. So, and then, magiging x times y minus 2 is equal to, yung y minus 2 makakancel. So, 3y na lang ang matitira. And then, multiply natin x times y, that is xy. X times negative 2, that is negative 2x. equals 3y. And then we combine like terms. So yung y, xy tsaka 3y, kailangan yan magkasama. So, kasi y, kailangan na ma-express natin yung function na y in terms of x. Okay, that is xy minus 3y. So, minus kasi positive nilipat, magiging negative. And then yung negative 2x magiging positive. Then we factor out y kasi yun yung common factor ng xy minus 3y, magiging y times x minus 3 is equal to 2x. And then we divide the whole equation by x minus 3. So y equals 2x over x minus 3. So ang y is equal to 2x over x minus 3, yun yung inverse function ng f of x is equal to 3x all over x minus 2. Now, we equate the term in the denominator x minus 3 to 0. So x minus 3 is equal to 0. And then we add 3 to both sides. X equals 3. Now, what will be the range of the given function? Y is an element of R wherein y should not be equal to 3. Okay. So, ganyan lang po yung process ng pagkuha ng inverse function. Next, number 3, x plus 5 all over 2x minus 6. So, again, kunin natin yung denominator, equate natin to 0. That is 2x minus 6 equals 0. And then we add 6 to both sides, magiging 2x equals 6. And then we divide the whole equation by 2. So the value of x is 3. So what will be our domain? X is an element of R wherein x should not be equal to 3. So, pag domain kasi madali lang siya eh. Basta kunin lang yung denominator, equate sa 0. So, makukuha na agad yung value or values na magiging undefined yung given function. Again, kapag walang values or possible values na magiging undefined yung ating function, ibig sabihin ang domain, all real numbers. So, halimbawa, yung ating denominator, quadratic polynomial siya, pero hindi naman siya factorable, not factorable siya. Ibig sabihin, ang domain natin is all real numbers. So, and then, for range naman, y is equal to x plus 5 all over 2x minus 6. Pagpalitin natin ang pwesto ng y and x. So, magiging x equals y plus 5 all over 2y minus 6. And then, we multiply 2y minus 6 to the whole equation para matanggal yung denominator. So, magiging x times 2y minus 6 equals, makakancel yung 2y minus 6, y plus 5 na lang. And then, we distribute x to 2y minus 6, that is 2xy minus 6x equals y plus 5. And then, itong y na to, kailangan nating mailipat sa left side, yung negative 6x naman sa right side. So, paano yun? Re-write lang natin 2xy minus y is equal to 6x plus 5. And then we factor out common variable which is y. Magiging 2x minus 1 is equal to 6x plus 5. And then we divide the whole equation by 2x minus 1. So y is equal to 6x plus 5 all over 2x minus 1. So, ito na yung inverse ng ating given function na f of x is equal to x plus 5 all over 2x minus 6. Now, yung 2x minus 1, equate natin sa 0. So, ganito siya. 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. And then we add 1 to both sides. Magiging 2x equals 1. And then we divide the whole equation by 2. So, x equals 1/2. So, what will be our domain? So, yung domain natin, y is an element of R wherein y should not be equal to 1/2. Okay. For our next example, number 4, f of x is equal to 4x minus 1 all over x plus 5. So, x plus 5 equals 0. So, and then we subtract 5 from both sides, magiging x equals negative 5. So, the domain of the given function is x is an element of R, wherein x should not be equal to negative 5. Okay. So, yung R na symbol dito is yung real numbers, and then yung parang letter E, element. Okay. Next, for the range naman, y is equal to 4x minus 1 all over x plus 5. And then, we change the position of x and y variables, magiging x equals 4y minus 1 over y plus 5. And then, we multiply the LCD, y plus 5, to the whole equation to eliminate the denominator. So, that will become x times y plus 5 is equal to 4y minus 1. Makakancel ang y plus 5. And then, x times y, xy, x times 5, that is 5x, equals 4y minus 1. Then, rewriting, magiging xy minus 4y is equal to negative 5x minus 1. Okay, and then, yung common factor ng xy tsaka negative 4y is y. So, that is y times the quantity x minus 4 is equal to negative 5x minus 1. Then, we divide the whole equation by x minus 4. So, y is equal to negative 5x minus 1 all over x minus 4. Now, we equate x minus 4 to 0. So, x minus 4 is equal to 0. We add 4 to both sides. So, x equals 4. Now, for the domain of the given function, range of the given function, that is, y is an element of R, wherein y should not be equal to 4. So, I hope naging clear yung discussion natin regarding domain and range of rational functions. Again, pag sinabi nating domain, i-equate natin yung term dun sa numerator at denominator sa 0. And then, makakuha tayo ng possible values ng x na magiging undefined yung function. Kapag wala tayong nakuhang possible values ng x, simple lang ang sagot. Yung domain will be all real numbers. Kapag naman range of a rational function ang kinukuha, make sure na kunin muna yung inverse. Dahil ang pagkuha ng domain ng inverse ng function, madali lang naman. Okay. Minsan kasi pag mali ka na dun sa pagkuha ng inverse ng function, syempre, mali na din yung makukuhang domain dun. Okay. So, for our next lesson, we'll have intercepts, zeros, and asymptotes of rational functions. So, yung intercepts, kung familiar sa inyo yung x and y intercepts, zeros, and then yung asymptotes. So, that will be our next lesson for week 3. So, I hope naging clear yung discussion natin dun sa ating topic. Maraming salamat.